Hello, I'm Joe Skibby with Beats, Beds, and Browns, your spot for emerging hip hop artists, garden interests from homestead to commercial ag, and bourbon and whiskey distillers. We're pleased in our season 3 to be transitioning to live stream interviews, allowing us to interview talented folks from throughout the globe. Our focus will always be Chicagoland and the region, but there are so many talented individuals out there we can cut it up with, we figured why not? Let's not forget our mission to distribute 100,000 seed kits over the next 10 years. We want to introduce people to growing their own food and realizing how easy it is to get started. Whether you've got acres or just a balcony, you can start growing your own food. As always, tap into our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Beats, Beds, Browns. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube to get notified of our content releases. And please participate in the comment section. Let us know you're out there throughout our content. We want to hear from you. Happy planting, and thanks to those of you joining us after the live taping. Without further ado, I'd like to bring Jaylin Wade to the screen. Jaylin, hey, how's it going, man? We're live.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
I appreciate your time this evening and look forward to cutting it up. I know I've seen you perform on a number of occasions, and I couldn't be more happy that you provided us with the time to share with our viewers. We always start with an easy question. Where are you from, where are you at, and where are you going?
From Chicago. As of right now, I stay in the south suburbs, though, in Lansing. Where am I going? I wanted, let's just say the globe, man. It's global. Take it as far as it can go.
World domination. I like to hear it. What got you in on this, man? What was your focus? How did you become interested in performing and interested in the rap game?
I really had always been a student, not just of hip hop, but just music in general, really. Because before I was making hip hop, I was playing jazz because I play saxophone as well. So I was playing jazz, classical on the sax, but then I started writing around 2016. And then before, I was pretty much writing like a whole year before I started recording. But I've been into it though. Like my dad MCs and DJs and stuff. I'd always been around it and been into it even before I started.
What did that look like? Were you, I always think of great rappers as, being lyricists first and poets, for lack of a better term. Were you just writing verses that you knew would kick, or did you have beats in your head when you were writing?
No, I just was writing to nothing, just trying to get better at manipulating words and just figuring stuff out, learning what works, what doesn't, and just literally just writing just to write.
Where did you find the inspiration? Was it all in your head, just waiting to get out, or did you model yourself after your other performers, or was it something that just?
It's of course it's artists that inspire me a lot. Like Lupe is my favorite rapper ever, really.
A little kick push Lupe, going on. I like it.
Yeah, Lupe, Doom, Damian Marley. I've been listening to hip hop for forever, so I really already knew this is what I liked. I listened to a lot of different stuff, but then just starting writing, I kind of was just taking the other media I liked, like games and anime and movies, and just kind of tying that into how much I liked to write, or just how much I enjoyed hip hop, and trying to kind of create my own world among these things. And just that's kind of where it started.
Absolutely. I want to dig into that. I know you met a number of collaborators in school, and I know you're a competitive gamer. As we look at the 50th anniversary of hip hop and all the celebrations that are going on throughout the globe, you mentioned a couple, newer era artists. You kick it old school, you keep it fresh. Where do you find most of your inspiration?
It depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes I might go back and find myself listening to like I said, like Doom, or I was listening to the Locks a lot the other day. What else? I listened to a lot of what else? I listened to a lot of, like I said, Damian Marley. Like that reggae. It's reggae, but it's hip hop really too, stuff like that. But then newer stuff, you'd be surprised because I listen to a lot more. Like I know how my music sounds, but I listen to a lot of trap music and stuff too. Like just a lot
Yeah,
of
and just for inspiration or just as a fan? I
yeah,
mean,
both really. I mean, I get inspired by artists like really a lot of the Detroit artists, man. That stuff inspires me a lot. Like Baby Smooth, V's, Babytron, stuff like that. I get a lot of inspiration from stuff like that too, believe it or not.
yeah, and again, whatever you've crafted is so unique, and I love listening to you. The first time I saw you was at the Crimeapple show,
Oh yeah.
performing with AM Early Morning. There was Danielson. There was a lot of great performers there, and you really stood out. And that's when I started
Did
to
I
dig
tell
into
you
your.
I wasn't even supposed to perform that day?
Oh,
Well, not even I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to open that show because originally I was just gonna do those. Did I do two songs with Early? We did two songs, right? Yeah, I think we did two songs together. That was gonna be all I did, but the opener didn't show,
okay.
and I was there for sound check. And then the DJ and we already know each other, so he pretty much, So I was just like, well, you already got a couple of my songs. I'm gonna just send you just one more, and I'm just do, I'm gonna just open the show, and it just
That's
worked out.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
For those of our fans who've been following since season one, we interviewed AM Early Morning, and that was
mhm.
one of the things that he stressed was you just got to be ready. You never know what's going to happen. You might get
Never
thrown
know.
into the set. You might end up headlining, depending
Yeah.
upon how reliable the other performers are. So to
Yeah,
hear
literally. Like
that's how that
everybody
worked
else, the
out.
DJ was man. The DJ that was his guy that was supposed to open, but he was stressing. But I'm like, man, you got me. Don't worry. Like I'm ready. Like it's no big deal. And you saw how it went. So
And talk to me about that because I didn't catch any of that anxiety or tension. You came up and you had such a stage presence.
yeah, I mean, I was thinking like the only thing I did out of maybe anxiety was the fact that I forgot to tell more of my friends that I was gonna be opening the show because I should have been like, because it was a decent turnout, but I should have been like, hey, I'm about to open the show and telling my friends. But as soon as I found out at soundcheck that I was gonna be opening and doing like three songs, the whole rest of the day, that's all I was just in my head, just making sure I had those songs just down because that's all I'm like, man, I can't, I'm opening, I cannot, what I'm saying, I can't I can't mess this up. So I just was really in my head about making sure everything went right. But it wasn't really like I knew I wasn't gonna be nervous though. It's different. It's just like once the songs really come in, especially after the first song, it's just I'm in there. And then once I start seeing people's reactions and people's faces, and then yeah, then everything just fades. Then
That
it's
was a
some
great crowd that night too. I
yeah, it
mean,
was
you
a
could
really
tell
good
everybody
crowd.
was dialed in and ready to see.
Yeah, and it was all people of all ages, just all different kinds of stuff, man. So yeah,
Nice. So taking a step back, talking about where you're from, and I know you're a Chicago kid. Uh, Tell me a little bit more about the backstory. I know you had a stint at Valpo University. Any jobs before becoming a full time artist?
well, I'm not. I mean, I'm working on being full time. That's not high. I
Okay,
still got a job. I was working at a military surplus store a few years ago. Right now, I work for UPS.
nice.
I
Shout
work.
out to the boys in
Yeah,
brown, right? Doing their
yeah,
thing.
brown and gold, man. But I work sunrise there, like 3 in the morning to 9. But I mean, that just gives me enough. It's decent money an hour to where I don't have to work crazy hours, and then I can also, because it's so early, I can just go straight from work. Like I have days where I'll do 5, 6 hours at work and then go straight to 4 hours in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that a constant that you're constantly working on the craft, constantly fine
Oh yeah.
tuning?
Yeah. Whether I'm going to the studio or I'm writing at work or I'm going home to record in my room. That's the thing. I have a setup in my room too. So if I don't actually, if I don't actually feel like spending money to go to the studio or I don't think I need to, I can work on whatever I need to in my room.
Nice. And talk about school. I know you ended up a stint at Valpo University, and that wasn't your thing.
Yeah, that was just that one year. So that was kind of before, like in high school was when I started really getting into hip hop as far as making it myself. But like I said, I was already a musician because I was like I've been playing sax, and then by the time I graduated, I was the lead saxophone. Um, and that's what I was going to Valpo for, was music actually. So I was playing. Like, that actually was the best I had gotten at saxophone when I was in Valpo, because I had private lessons and I was playing a lot. That was the only thing I was doing. Like, I got to the point where I was so depressed and done with school that I was skipping all my classes except my music business course and my saxophone lesson.
Okay.
And that was the only thing I was doing. But I was so out of it because I, like, even though I was writing and having ideas and stuff, I just didn't really have anybody around me to record. I didn't have my own setup then, so I didn't have anybody around me to record. Really, it wasn't anybody there that was trying to do what I was trying to do as far as like hip hop. It was barely that many people there that understood the wavelength I was on, So that kind of didn't help. But my high school experience was really important as far as like shaping how comfortable I am just doing my own thing. As
Nice. And
far
can
as
we
like,
ever expect to hear some of the sax mixed
oh
into
yeah,
your?
yeah. I need to pick it back up though. I've just been lazy, but yeah, definitely. Because that's what I was doing first, man. And I gotten really good for a while. I just had jumped into this so heavy, especially once I came back from college. I pretty much had just threw everything into hip hop. So I put it down, but I still got it. I just gotta get my chops back.
I hear you. Yeah. So in terms of, sounds like it's always a process. You're always crafting. You're always writing. You're always thinking of beats. Um, would you consider yourself more comfortable in the studio or more comfortable live? What do you prefer?
That's a good question. Um, I would say more comfortable in the studio. It's different though. Like, I would say more comfortable in the studio. Like, I want to say that because that's like the studio portion is the fine tuned. Like, you're ironing everything out. You're getting all your ideas down, but you're also making sure this is the recording. This is the version that people are taking home. They're listening to streaming, they're listening to on a physical. So that's where you have to make sure everything is ironed out, everything is clean. But then at the same time, I really enjoy performing live because it's not necessarily that same type of standard. Like, it still has to be good and clear and clean, but it's not really as much about perfection. It's more about just making everyone feel me. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that because I used to be really, really nervous of like, man, what if people just don't understand what I'm bringing to the table? But now, from performing as much as I have the past couple of years, I don't know, I just love the energy from just the energy I get from people. Even though I don't make the kind of music, I don't have a whole lot of hooks and chanting and stuff, but just the reading people's emotions and their faces when I perform, and they're like stuck in this trance almost. There's not really a feeling like that.
I mean, your flow kind of lends itself to that because you just flow. And sometimes I'm like, how does he breathe? I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, can you talk to me about your style and how that evolved? Because it's so unique.
Um, Man, I have so many different things to attribute that to. Not as like, one, of course, is the things I listen to, like my influences and stuff, and like a lot of people I listen to. The one of the main things I take is just how uh, most of the people I like can just be themselves, and that's one big thing. But with becoming, like, getting into the way I've developed now, it really just came from like rapping on all kinds of different stuff when I started. So the first producer I ever worked with, I met actually at a jazz camp at U of I. I think this was, I can't remember if it was my junior or senior year of high school, but he really was the first person that I had ever really told that I was trying to do hip hop or take it seriously. And I just rapped for him. And this was stuff I hadn't written to a beat. I just rapped for him, and he was blown away. And ever since then, we have been working on stuff. And he's more of a classical musician, so beats were kind of off the wall. Some of them were a little crazy, but from rapping on that stuff, I feel like that had given me the ability to kind of go in any direction I wanted. And then meeting Cloud, and then really, well, not I had already met him, but really like when we both started working on music together, that kind of took my development in a whole nother direction because we were kind of figuring things out together, like just the crazy soul loops and stuff. And just we have stuff, especially stuff that's not out, where it's hard to even wrap your head around it as far as like the counts and stuff. And so just for being around him, I feel like I could rap on anything. And I don't know, I just feel like I hear weird pockets in beats a lot of times, or just the way I, like, a lot of people make fun of the way I nod my head to beats and stuff, and I hear really weird pockets sometimes.
Do you, man? Whatever it is, it's working. Don't let them. So that creative process, it sounds like it started down a path, and then you met Cloud. And was that before the Creative Mansion and really being immersed in the creative process with a bunch of different people, or?
Well, so me and Cloud had already known each other. I think that I met him, I want to say 2015, but we weren't really, like, I wasn't working on music yet, and he really wasn't either. But a couple, like maybe 2 years after that, then we both really started working on music. And that's when Creative Mansion, we kind of formed Creative Mansion around that. Like, we just would meet, we would be, we would find one friend through music, then they would be really cool and kind of have the same energy and seriousness towards the craft that we did. And then we meet somebody else and meet somebody else. And then we kind of would just, it wasn't even really like we were looking for people. We would just meet our friends. And then every day, everybody just came together.
Well, it sounds like there was the addition of layers to add value, and everybody
Oh
overlapped and
yeah.
interworked. And
Oh yeah. And then we just, at that time, we also had, one of my friends had their own place, and then we would all be there really like 7 8 deep some days, and just be there for days at a time. But it would be like multiple different projects being worked on at one time. Like, someone would be in the back room, people would be in the living room, somebody would be sitting on the couch making beats. And yeah, so we had gotten used to just being creative, even if it's not all on the same thing. Just that
yeah, no,
energy.
you have to be in an environment where that's fostered and not questioned, right? It just got to flow, and you can sort through the good and the bad and the ugly, right? um, so, from a creative process standpoint, it sounds like you're just writing as the rhymes come, and then you select a producer based on the rhyme, or the producer interprets the
Um,
rhyme. And
it depends. Like, sometimes, so nowadays I write two beats, but even then it's still different. Like, I could listen to a beat for a while and kind of know what I want to do to it. I might get the first line, and a lot of times I could turn it off and then just keep writing, and then go from there. Once I'm done, I turn it back on and then
okay,
practice it. But a lot of times I could turn it off and everything just works. Or like, um, sometimes I might write something to no beat and then hear a beat I like and be like, oh, I have something for this, and use that. But a lot of times now, I really like, my preferred creative process is being there while the beat is being made, and then kind of just like, because
flow into it.
yeah, with people that I work with a lot and we really understand each other creatively, I can kind of sit there and hear where they're going, and then and already be thinking of where I want to go as far as writing. And so a lot of times with a lot of my friends, they'll be, by the time they're done with the beat, I'm almost done writing. So we just
And you
kind of
need
go
that
from there.
connectivity in order to do that. You can't just hop in with a producer just with a list of
Yeah.
beats and just go off.
Sometimes you can, you never know. It might be those, those kind of people where that you just have that kind of connection, but not always. A lot of times you have to work with each other and know how each other works. Like, my friend Sidica, he raps and produces, and he really does everything. But we have a whole album that we have been working on for about a year. I would go over his house every Tuesday after work, and we would work. Some days we would do two songs in one day. Some days we might spend the whole day working on one song. But
So that's the new. That's not out yet. That's coming
oh
up.
yeah, no, that's coming up. That's probably gonna come out next year, most likely. I think that's going to be next year. That's just it's just a lot. When that's coming out, you're going to know though, because that's all I'm going to be talking about for a while. We put a lot into that one. So
real nice. Any live shows coming up?
Nothing booked as of right now. Sadly, I'm trying to get some more stuff lined up.
All right. Well, we'll keep it in mind. Typically, this is the first year we're live streaming. So typically we would be on site and launching in August, September to a concert. So we got to figure out how we piece together the artists, get a concert. We're talking about maybe hosting something in the metaverse so that we can still be all in different locations, but have it at a central location.
That would be crazy. I mean, that'd be cool. This you at the show, the last show you saw me at Cole's. That was my mic that I brought.
Okay.
So I could set that up. I could set up a nice little, a nice something in my room.
That's good to hear, man. Keep an ear out, all the fans out there. I want to shout out to Z with Dark Side of Delight Productions and Erica Gilchrist. They're tuning in and commenting in the comments section. We appreciate everybody out there. You mentioned kind of a family history. You said your dad's a DJ and producer. And how did that transition in? What?
The MCs.
I'm sorry.
DJs.
MCs. How did that transition into a more traditional instrument like the saxophone? And then how do you think that led you to this current spot?
I think with him, the biggest thing I took from being around him is just like, I think I developed an ear for like really listening to music pretty early. Like he would be in the car. He's just like me, where he'll have a song he likes and that's all he listens to for the whole day. And I would be in the back seat and he'd be playing a song on repeat, and he'll finally skip it, thinking I'm getting tired of it. And I'll be like, why you skip it? I'll tell him to play it again because he.
So you guys are analyzing it. Every component of it, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, so I've been like that from an early age. So I think that helped as far as me transitioning into playing classically and just consuming music in general. Like I've been really particular about being able to describe the things I like in all the music I enjoy, no matter how simple it might be. I just always want to be able to pinpoint what it is that I enjoy, what it is that the artist does well, that is, that resonates with me.
Nice. Now I got to ask, president of the Fighting Game Club at Lindblom, how'd you get into competitive gaming, man?
My older cousin, he's like, how many? I think he's, I want to say 5 years older than me, almost 6, something like that. But he, man, when I was younger, when Street Fighter 4 came out, he would be at my grandmother's house and he would just smoke me in Street Fighter 4. But I'm the type where I don't really get, like, I get salty if I lose at something that I do a lot, and I knew he knew what he was doing, and there was levels to that. So I'm the type where I'll literally sit there all day. I don't care if I'm losing or what. I'll sit there and just figure stuff out. And so that happened. And he also had he had an arcade stick too. It was the first time I had ever seen an arcade stick in person. So I thought that was so cool, and I immediately asked for Xbox and Street Fighter for Christmas, and then I got that. And then from there, I just was grinding and figuring stuff out. And then I started playing older Street Fighters too. And it was to the point where he would be inviting his friends over. They're all older than me. And then they're like, man, this kid is smoking you in Street Fighter. And that was Street Fighter 3. I got good at 3. And then he was trying to tell him, like, no, he's not just a kid. Like, he knew I really played games. But yeah, and then I just kind of transferred that love into, and I took it with me into high school and was really trying to just create a community where we could play games. That honestly just started as the detention room in my school used to be unoccupied on Fridays. And so I knew the dude that had the key, and there was a TV in there. So he used to just he would just let us in there on Fridays, and I would bring my Xbox with me. And then we would just play games until eventually
line them up and knock them down, huh?
Yeah, we would just play. And then we eventually found some way to get 2 TVs in there. We did that. And then the year after that, I found a way to, I talked to enough teachers and got it turned into a real club.
Okay. And I was going to say, there's esports gaming clubs at high schools, and there's professional athletes in esports gaming and whatnot. And It's a big business.
It's
Big
changed.
business.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it wasn't anything like that when I first started doing that, though.
Nice. So I want to kind of go through your discography if we could, and just give me a quick description, maybe the time period, the thing you were going through, what was the
Mhm.
inspiration, just real quick. So for Flashpoint.
Flashpoint. So that I had. So if y'all don't know, that's all produced by my good friend Deviant Beats. Shout out Deviant. That's my guy. Like we have, honestly, me and him probably have, like, that's part of the whole point of this project is that me and him have so much music that we're sitting on that we're just trying to figure out how to get the floodgates open. That's kind of what Flashpoint is. But also, I had, it's been a couple months now. I think towards the end of May, I injured my ankle and I wasn't able to work for like 8 weeks. And so we figured like we might as well just put something together, shoot a video, and just have something to release. So we made that. We made those 5 songs in like the span of 2 weeks or something, and just put that together to get something out because I wanted to I wanted to work on something and finish it while I couldn't physically go to work. So I could just all I could do was really work on music.
I mean, that's amazing to hear. You hear historically about guys like Mozart, and they have a very short period where they just wrote the hell out of stuff, and
Yeah.
just put it on paper. And over time, those things became what, carved out their legend, made them a global superstar in their day. So keep writing, man. Keep putting it out there. We love to hear it.
That's why the first bar on the first song of Flashpoint is I said, packed up my shit and dipped on my one-legged adventures. That's why.
Because of the ankle.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. I like the backstory. How about Faint of Heart?
Faint of Heart was so all 8 of those songs I recorded. Shout out Dr. Mindbender. I recorded all 8 of those songs in one session with Doc. That was like, I got 1 4-hour session and just did all 8 of those songs. I just came with all of them written and ready to go. And I really just wanted to do another project that wasn't all one producer. Because it's something like, it's nothing really like having the ear to take all these different beats from different places and make them fit together sonically and thematically. So I kind of wanted to do that again. And it's also a bit easier sometimes to just take the stuff that you already have as opposed to sitting here with a producer doing the whole project, because that is, at the end of the day, that is still another mind that you have to agree to some extent with.
Sure.
To get stuff done. So with that one, I kind of just wanted to kick the year off with something crazy. So I had let's see, a Pleasant Sherman beat, the intro. It's 2 beats from this dude Jackson from Chicago. There's a Raz Fresco beat on there. You know Raz Fresco?
Is that the guy from Griselda you was working with?
Nah, Raz
Raj,
Fresco.
right?
You got to get into him, Raz Fresco, if you know.
I'm
You
making
would
a note
love him.
right now.
Yeah, get into him. That's like my favorite rapper right now, honestly. Like he's from Canada, but I got that beat because he did this beat tape and he did a little contest. He said whoever raps the best on one of the beats from the tape gets a free beat, and he picked me and one other dude, and so I used one of those beats on Faint of Heart. It's just Faint of Heart it just has a really cool. I just really enjoyed the way they came out because not only did I pick all those beats and put them together, I did all the transitions myself and stuff too. So
Nice.
yeah.
How about Means to the Ends? These are
Means
great
to the
backstories too, by the way. I'm
ends.
sorry to fly through them. I just want to be.
Oh no, you
Get to
good. I
all
know
of them.
I have a lot more projects. Like I just realized I have a decent amount of projects out. Like I didn't even think about it, but yeah, because I have so much that I'm still waiting to put out too.
Yeah.
But Means to the Ends really was like me saying, like, it was kind of me saying that I was still here. Like the year wasn't over because that came out the same year as The One Who Knocks, I'm pretty sure, like towards the end of the year. So that was really me saying, like, I wasn't going anywhere. I was still doing it. And it was another full length project. I recorded pretty much all of that in my room, like Sherman
Okay.
would just send me the beats. Yeah, he would just send me the beats, and I was just knocking stuff out back to back. And originally, we were talking about doing an EP. Funny enough, I think we were gonna do like a 4 or 5 song EP, but then I ended up liking so many of those beats, and he was sending so many of them, and then I was sending them back so fast. We were like, well, we might as well just do
Yeah,
a
workers work,
whole.
man. They gotta love
Yeah,
that. Sending stuff, getting it right back, no
yeah.
delays.
We figured we might as well just do a full length project at that point. And then
Nice.
that was really my chance to flex my my curation, because he made all the beats, but as far as the track list and what went where, the skits, the transitions, that was all me.
Okay. It was Justified Truth sandwiched in there, or before or after?
That was before that, and we kind of made that kind of fast. That was me, Deviant, and AM Early Morning, and that's with Pastel Records. That was when we had a studio in Des Plaines, and we were doing I forgot what day we would get. Well, I forgot what day every week we used to work, but we because I get off work so early, and AM Early Morning fitting, it's fitting because it's his name. He works early too, so I would get off work, go straight to the studio, and then he would be there. We would get together probably like 10:30, 11, and then do maybe 2 or 3 hours and get 1 to 2 songs done every day, and we kind of just knocked that out. It probably took us like a little less than 2 months, and we just got that all together and put it out. Kind of just seeing how we sounded together on the whole project, and just having fun with it. And the coolest thing about that project was how much um Early really respects my ear and just me in general as an artist. I'm younger, but he really would, whenever I had something to say, he always he really listened to my opinion for everything, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I look at what he's doing with the local scene, and it's so impressive, and keeping shows going and putting
Yeah,
out content, and
yeah,
he's really holding the bigger picture together so that everybody can have success. And there's been, I don't know if it's post COVID or just recently, there's been more shows going on. There's a whole bunch of different
yeah.
pockets of activity throughout. I mean, I love it as a fan, going out to shows across the city,
And
and
he always looks out for me too, specifically though. Like and no matter what, even if it's a show with all of us, whatever's going on, I've noticed he always gives me like a bit of extra, just a bit
nice.
of an extra spotlight. And he's been like that really since we met. And I've never, yeah, I can't really appreciate that
A true
anymore.
vet in the game, and one of our season one all stars, man. We wouldn't be here without him and his support early on.
Yeah, man, he's always looking out.
How about Love Remains?
Love Remains. Um, so that was like, that's kind of like, so how can I explain that? I don't want to say a new era of me and Cloud, but it almost is. That's kind of like us shifting into a different. It's a bit different than like Ozymandias and Lily of the Valley and that stuff. So Love Remains just has a lot of the the name came together from the title track from the last song. That's where we got the name from, because originally he was going to use that song, Cloud. I mean, he was going to use that song for his solo project, but he ended up not really going with that idea, and so we put it on Love Remains, and then we kind of just took all of our favorite songs that we were making at that time and just put them together. Like, I was surprised they fit so well together, honestly. Like Love Remains with Tethered, and then and then Sunlight. Like Sunlight, I was really surprised Sunlight worked out the way it did, because that song, literally, I'm just rapping for like almost 3 minutes. But it all fit together really well. And I feel like the recurring theme in that project is that all the beats are really, really colorful. Like all of his beats are, but especially on Love Remains, I feel like those beats are just really bright and colorful for the most part.
Nice. And you mentioned Ozymandias. And did you know that was a poem when you titled it? I can't
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Tell me,
Because
tell me about that.
of course, it's a Breaking Bad reference too, but that I knew that the Breaking Bad episode was a reference to the poem, because that's what I referenced in the intro, in in Closer. That's what I'm talking about. It's more about the poem than the Breaking Bad episode, but it works.
Nice.
But
I knew Breaking Bad was a constant throughout the Creative Mansion days, and I had seen that referenced and looked
because
up
it's
Ozymandias.
three of them. It's Ozymandias, Lily of the Valley, and then the one who knocks. And that's all the Breaking Bad reference projects.
Nice. See, I never watched the show, so I missed out on all those references. Yeah,
really.
I'm like the worst person to be hosting a podcast. I don't consume any content.
No, I don't blame you though, man. It's hard for me to like. I don't know. It's hard for me to sit down and watch stuff now because I always feel like I'm wasting time. I'm like,
well, sure, you're working. You got the production going on. You know,
like I could be
we all
playing
got
a
personal
game. I could be writing. I could be, you know what I'm saying? Even playing video games, I feel like I'm making better use of my time than watching TV. But that's just me. But yeah, Ozymandias, I knew it was a poem. I knew it was a poem. That really was because most of the projects at that time, honestly, that Lily of the Valley, like most of the stuff leading up to the One Who Knocks was for that purpose. It really was to hold people over until the One Who Knocks, because we kept getting to a point where we're like, we might release it, but then we're like, no, we didn't think it was ready yet. So we kind of kept delaying it, but I didn't really want to keep going all this time without releasing anything. So we put Ozymandias together, and that ended up coming out really, really well. Like that is the project that started my love for making like a run of a few tracks that just transition perfectly. So I think in Ozymandias, I want to say it's like Head in the Clouds, Slip. Head in the Clouds, Slip. And it's one other one, but just like that run of tracks, those 3 tracks or whatever, it's like 3, 4, those transitioned amazingly. And so now after that, I've been trying to do that, at least something like that in every project, where it's just like a handful of songs that is just like the craziest transitions on the project.
Yeah, and when I looked it up, it's even the greatest men and the empires they forge are impermanent. Their legacies faded to decay into oblivion. Yeah. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Man.
And that's I referenced that a lot in the intro. I referenced that a ton in the very end. And Usurper, it's a lot. Yeah,
nice. I love the deeper meaning. So, we've talked a lot about your work and things that are coming and the discography. Talk to me about bigger picture. Outside of work at UPS, outside of producing and creating. Do you do any community work? Are you involved in philanthropy, or you have any civic commitments or any goals for that in the future?
Right now, no. My goal in the future, though, I really want to just make more creative spaces for people, just like almost like Media, where you can just go and have a place to record and just come together creatively. But I really want to just make more places like that in the South Side of Chicago in general, but especially the South Side. Just like places where you can go, there's equipment already there, you can kind of be there for an hour or two, work on some music, and not really have to not break the bank to do anything. And it's just in a place you can just go and be creative and hang out after school for kids and stuff. It's just, I just want to do,
give them something to do,
places
right?
Like that. Yeah.
Nice. How about in terms of whiskey? Are you a whiskey drinker? Do you prefer the Browns portion of the show? Yeah,
I drink whiskey, actually. It's probably my preferred, like, as far as day-to-day drink. Like, I'm coming home from work and I want to just relax. I'll drink some whiskey. We usually have Jack Daniels in the house.
Okay. Have you heard of the Uncle Nearest?
I think so. I don't know if I ever had it.
So
that's what you're drinking now?
Again, they're on our list of people we want a future interview. We've interviewed Few Spirits out of Evanston, Boone County Jail Distillery out of Lebanon, Indiana. They do Kinnard and Drake whiskeys or bourbons. And then Chesterton Distillery, which has a bunch of moonshines and gin. Uncle Nearest is like the fastest growing whiskey brand in the world right now. And apparently, Uncle Nearest was who taught Jack Daniels the recipe, and he was.
Oh, I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'd be a great get for us, but definitely that's one of our favorites. How
What are
about
you drinking right now?
So we were in try and show it and not get blocked, but we were in Louisville, Kentucky. This is Prohibition Distilling. All the major tours were booked because it was kind of a whim. So we went down there and chanced upon this place and ended up bringing some back. And this is a very brown sugar, but not overpoweringly sweet. I'm not a big sweet alcohol fan.
You just drink it straight on the rocks?
Yeah, I got it on the rocks. This would be really good in an old fashioned. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. How about vegetables? You eat your vegetables, man? You clean plate club?
I probably need to eat more vegetables. But no, I like Brussels sprouts. I like spinach. I like broccoli.
That's great, man. We're gonna get you growing your own. You're in now. We're gonna start sending seeds.
I want to. I really want. You know what I really want to grow? I really want to grow green tomatoes.
Okay.
I don't know. That's some southern stuff. I don't know if you ever had fried green tomatoes.
Yeah,
but that's man.
No, we love it. We kale greens, broccoli, the vegetable fruit, and the broccoli greens, and we're just this is peak time right now because everything is ready to harvest. So early in the season, maybe you just get the salad greens and nothing else. And now you got the peppers and the tomatoes, and you're able to put together some good stuff. So, I appreciate your time. I want to be respectful of it. I want to transition here into hard hitters and wig splitters. If you got a couple more minutes, and then one's got to go. So, being that this is our first time going live, I'm going to go ahead and run the intro to hard hitters and wig splitters. I don't know if this will kick you or me off, but if not, I'll re-pick us up. So. All right, we're back. Hard hitters and wig splitters, the quick quiz game where we ask you this, that, one or the other, and you let us know what you're thinking. So if you're ready, we're going to go ahead.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Beef or no beef?
Beef.
Beef. All right. Cash or Queens?
Cash.
Cash. Big black truck or 6'4"?
Truck.
Truck. Edibles or flour?
Flour.
Flour. How about Jay-Z or Drake?
Jay-Z.
Bears or Colts?
Bears.
Bears. Cubs or Sox?
Sox.
All right. How about, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I hate to say it, but yes.
Yeah, okay. A hot dog is a sandwich. The real answer in Chicago, ketchup or no ketchup?
Oh, ketchup.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Hot or mild?
Mild.
All right. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Jordan. All right. How about Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marvel. Go with the Marvel. And then vanilla or chocolate to wrap it up?
Vanilla.
Vanilla. All right. Now we do one's got to go. We give you 3 options, and one has to go. There's no saving it. So one's got to go. Bacon, lettuce, tomato.
Tomato.
Tomato. Rock, paper, scissors.
Scissors.
Okay. Eazy-E, Ice Cube, or Dr. Dre?
Easy.
Eazy-E. Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?
TikTok.
How about phone, keys, wallet?
Wallet.
All right. You survived the gauntlet with hard hitters, wig splitters, and one's got to go. And you lasted through 40 minutes of talking with me, Jaylin. I really appreciate it. Can't say thank you enough for your time. And,
thanks for having me, bro.
Enjoyed watching you perform. So, stay in touch. We'll definitely keep you involved in anything we got going on. Like I said, we'll coordinate some type of concert for the artists that we work with this year. But thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening, man. Take care.
All right, you too. All
right. Tune in next week when we have Gone Away Thursday, 9/14 at 7 p.m., we'll dig into the Oklahoma native's path to professional artist. And again, let's not forget our mission to distribute 100,000 seed kits in the next 10 years, heirloom seed kits. We want to introduce people to growing their own food and realizing how easy it is to get started. Whether you've got acres or just a balcony, you can start growing your own food. Get your free seed kit at beetsbedsbrowns.com. And remember, tap into our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BeetsBedsBrowns. Make sure you subscribe. We want to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Have a good night and happy planting.